G'day guys, and welcome to this week's edition of Friday's Funny. This week our featured YouTuber is Wizzy Wig Nutty Joe 51. So let's get this show started with our first joke. A guy walks into the bar and asks the barman for 6 shots of Jägermeister. The barman says, 6 shots? He says, you celebrating something? The guy says, yeah, my first blowjob. The barman says, here, let me give you a 7th one on the house. The guy says, no offence sir, but if 6 shots aren't going to get rid of the taste, nothing will.
After a long night of passion, the young guy rolls over and gets a cigarette out, but can't find his lighter. So he says to the girl next to him, have you got a light? And she said, oh, there should be some matches in the top drawer by the side of the bed. So he opens the drawer and finds some matches on the top of a framed photo of a young man. So he looks a bit shocked and he says to the girl, who's that in the picture? Is it your husband? And she said, oh, don't be silly, no, it's not my husband. So he asks her, is that your boyfriend then? And she said, no, it's not my boyfriend. And he says, well, who is it then? And she said, oh, you are silly. That's me before the operation.
A teacher was teaching her class a lesson on proper grammar. She asked her children to put their hands up who could give her a story on using the word beautiful twice in a sentence. First girl puts up her hand with little Susie. Little Susie turns around and says, my father brought my mother a beautiful dress and she looked beautiful in it. Teacher turns around and says, that's very good, Susie, well done. Little boy puts his hand up, little Max puts his hand up and says, my mum planned a beautiful banquet and it turned out beautiful. Teacher says, well done Max, that's brilliant. Little Johnny puts up his hand and says, last night at the dinner table my sister told my father that she was pregnant and he said beautiful, fucking beautiful. Well, that wraps up this edition of Friday's Funny. Just a reminder guys, if you'd like to be featured in Friday's Funny, all the information will be down in the description bar. Thanks for watching and I will see you next week with another edition of Friday's Funny.